All right, grade 7. This is investigation 10. And I'll go through a little bit of it with you. Hopefully, it'll make sense with you. I'm going to try to do it with this tool. This tool's new to me, but hopefully, it will show you how this all works. So, the first number that you see in investigation 10 is got A, B, and C points that are measured out, and it asks you to measure them. So I'm going to make sure that we measure this out. We draw a nice line here. And the way it's laid out, it's that these points are 3 centimeters apart. And that would be the answer for number one. It says, what is it when you're grabbing your ruler and measuring it? What is that going to equal? And then it said that it's used a compass next for two. It's basically used a compass in each corner. And what they've done with the compass is they have put these rings here, and I'll just go further, on either side. So I'm going to move this one now to this side here, and we're just going to, whoops, keep it exactly the same. Hopefully I didn't wreck anything there. And now we're going to spin this around. And you'll see that if you do something like that, what it will do, if hopefully I've done it right, it will bisect that line completely in the middle. So if we grabbed our ruler here, and I'm a little bit out with my line here, let's see what we can do. There we go. We draw our line across. You'll notice that when we go and check if I've done it right, we are sitting at a perfect 90-degree angle. So using a compass, you can actually make a 90-degree angle. And that's what we figure that out. So in construction, this is called a perpendicular bisector. Okay, so you can do that with a perpendicular bisector. What works very well is if you actually have a string and a nail, you can make a perfect 90-degree angle as well. Okay, so we've bisected in half. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to number 3. Number 3 says the line, why is the line you constructed called a perpendicular bisector segment? Well, it actually divides that line that we just made completely in half. All right, so now what it wants us to do is make a circle, and have that circle 2 centimeters in radius. So again, we're going to grab our compass, 2 centimeters in radius, and we're going to spin a circle around. So there we go. We have a complete circle with a 2 centimeter radius. Okay, so what we can do with that circle is we can actually grab our handy dandy ruler and bisect it in half. Now hopefully there's no dot that shows where I started, but we'll bisect this one in half, right? And there it shows our middle point. So you can see that basically moving our way through, we have 4 centimeters to cover that full circle. Okay, so now what it wants you to do is make your compass, again, a little bit longer than what it was before. So we're going to move this guy around. Oops, sorry. I'm going to figure out where I can move this compass now. We'll move it to this point here. Make it a little bit longer than the 2 centimeters. Okay, and then we're going to come over to here, and we're going to draw a circle here. Move this guy right over here. Oops, I almost got her in the point. And we're going to put a bisect over there. And you can see now we've actually split this circle completely in half. So if we grab our line, you can see we've grabbed this circle and cut it right in half. Of course, then what you can also do next is grab your points on your circle. I don't know exactly how to do that with this thing. We're going to try our best. We're right there. Oops, right there. Move it across. Okay, this one's not quite as intuitive as I'd like it to be. Oh, that's there. And I won't do all the angles for you because this is going to take quite a while to do it this way on this piece of equipment. But you can see that when we go here, we can bisect. See if we can get her. Draw our bisects all the way through. Oh, wrong side of it. Let's go to this side here. Move it along. And there's a bisect there. Flip it around the other way. Maybe I will get them all. It's got to line up. Again, here. Got a line across. And we go up here. And it's not going to be perfect to grade 7, but it'll give you the idea. So actually now what you've created, and this is what it wants to show you, is you've created actually one, two, three, 4 triangles in there. And so then it asks you, once you've done that, what are the angles that we're going to get there? Well, if you grab your protractor and take a look at these angles, you'll see that if it had been done completely perfectly, which I did not do, but these angles will be 90 degrees. And that's number 4. All right, notice that the square are 4 small right triangles. What is the area of each right triangle? Well, you know that it's 2 times 2 divided by 2, so it'll be 2 centimeters squared. How can we find the area of each inscribed triangle? No, how can we find the area of the inscribed square? Well, again, if you're going to grab your pieces, you have a diameter of 4, and it's a 4 by 4, so that is going to be, no, it's a 2 by 2. No, it's a 4. No, it's 2 centimeters 4. I'm trying to read through here. How can we find the area of the inscribed square? Add all the areas of the triangles, of course. Yes, that's right. So each triangle is 2, right? And that happens 4 times, so it's 8 centimeters squared. So let's move on. As we go through this, it is going to ask you, set the compass so that it is open to more than half the distance between R and S. So now we're going to learn how to bisect an angle. So hopefully I can set a nice, clear the screen here, make a nice angle for you for the next one. So we will put this line here, and then we'll move our square down, and you can see I've created a nice angle. So what it's doing is it's saying, how do you bisect an angle? Well, in order to bisect an angle, what you need to do is go start right at the point there and set your distance out a bit. So here we go, we got a nice distance at the point, and now we inscribe our angle here. All right, after we're done that, we move our compass to this point here, and I'll shrink our compass down a bit. All right, and then we move it up to about this point here, and we inscribe here, and we keep our compass at the same spot there, and we make a mark there. And so once you've done that, you can actually see, if we grab our ruler, put it into this corner here, and then we slide it all the way up to here, that our angle is bisected completely in half. What's kind of neat about seeing that is that if we go grab our protractor, line her all the way up, you can see that this first angle is about 50 degrees, and you can see our inscribed angle is right in the middle there between 20 and 30. So we have a completely bisected angle. That's called an angle bisector. All right. And now, next, we are going to look at number 7. We have to draw a circle, so let's continue on. We're going to make a bit of a larger circle so that we have some room to work. So there's our larger circle. I think we'll have enough room to do that. Oh, that's too big of a circle. Let's reset that. Let's get this guy down a bit. And we'll move this point down a bit as well. Okay, so now we got a nice big circle around here. Okay, and now what it's saying, draw a circle. And the diameter, now what we want to do is create a diameter in that circle. Okay, so let's go put the diameter into the circle. Hopefully I'm guessing here because I don't have a point of reference where I started. This software doesn't allow that, but this should show you roughly where the diameter is, right in the middle here. So then what it's telling you to do is grab your compass to bisect that angle there. So what we're going to do is we're going to bisect it for a second. And away we go. I'm going to bring this length out a little bit. Maybe a bit more. Okay, and we're going to create a nice one there. Come down. Oops, leave that right there. Come down and do one here as well. Bisect it there. Now we're going to move this guy all the way over to this point here. Alright, and we're going to, keep her the same length. I think this might be a bit more difficult. Right now I got to move this guy this way. Let's try move her here. And then we come back in here. And you can see I've done a full circle there. But we do have a bisection of that angle now. So turn her down. Got a line here. Let's get this one lined up. This one lined up. A little bit back here. Actually, probably works best if we just put this point in first. And then, oh, now our ruler is too long to get there. Not quite. Okay, so now you can see that we can make a nice bisection through there. All right. And of course, you've learned how to do an angle bisect as well. So now you have all 90-degree angles. And what it's saying is that if you grab this guy here and continue on, moving your, let's keep that line the same, moving out here, we can actually go boom, boom, make a mark there, move it, let's spin it down so it's out of the way first, and come to this point here, and then we pull her up, and we put a bisector there, and we can do that around all of them. I won't do all of them, but you can then, from that point, you can grab your ruler and line it up with the center there. Oh, I got the pencil on the wrong side here. Try to get it on the right side. There we go. So we have virtually a line, and now we can bisect our complete circle all the way through. Okay, and then we can measure them all. And of course, if you measured them all, you'll figure out fairly soon that these measures, if they're done right, and you can see my line's a little bit out, but it would be 90 and 45. That would give you your angles that you're going to get in there. And then, of course, when you're finished, it goes on to ask you a bunch of different questions. I'm going to leave that there, but hopefully this video so far showed you what you needed to find about inscribed angles. I'll be available on Meet at 9:30. So if you have any questions,